Today's Sunshine Note is titled, A Race, a Name, and a Doubter. Then he said to Thomas, "Put your finger here. See my hands. Reach out your hand and put it into my side. Stop doubting and believe." John chapter 20, verse 27. There was a myriad of reactions when Jesus rose from the grave early Sunday morning. When Mary found the tomb empty, she hightailed it back to Peter and John, who immediately raced out to see for themselves. John takes time in his gospel to brag about the fact that he happened to outrun Peter in the race to the grave. Evidently, this was important to him. But instead of going in, he stopped outside. It was Peter who ran right into the tomb, and it was he who took time to notice that Jesus' linens were neatly folded, a strange detail to include. Do we go racing to Jesus as Peter did, even after we have denied him, or do we sulk in shame? Mary herself stood by the tomb crying to a nearby gardener, asking him to tell her where they had taken Jesus. Mary was a tough girl. She was ready to go and carry off Jesus' heavy body if only she could find him. At her comment, the gardener spoke just one word, Mary. At the sound of her name, she instantly knew who he was, Jesus alive. I wonder, would we recognize his familiar voice calling our name if he were to do so today? Is he calling your name now? When Jesus appeared to the disciples who had gathered in a house, they thought he was a ghost. He actually ate something to prove he was a living flesh and blood person. But one of my favorite responses comes from Thomas, who wasn't there at the time. The other disciples claimed they'd seen Jesus with their own eyes, but he just didn't buy it. In fact, he insisted that unless he actually touched the nail marks on Jesus with his own fingers, he was not going to believe a word they'd say. What I love about Thomas' story is that Jesus humors him, meets him right where he is. He tells Thomas to reach out and feel for himself, then orders, "Stop doubting and believe." For this reason, he's gone down in history as Doubting Thomas. But would our response be similar? Don't we doubt God all the time? Aren't we constantly searching for evidence and proof that He's even there? Some even refuse to believe in God without proof. Are you one of those? If you struggle with doubt, ask Him to show up in a real way to you, and we know He will. And when He does, it's time to stop doubting and believe. May God bless you today.